Holy Spirit, I'm here. We're here because of you. Just ask that you do make your presence known. Guide our thoughts, guide our voice, touch all that here. Just use us as willing vessels for your glory. Help us to be fearless. Joshua 1:9. Even though we know we walk through the valley, the shadow of death, help us to fear no evil. As we dive deeper into this journey to discover more of who you are. Lord, we just ask that you be with us always. Help us to not make any missteps that lead anyone away from you, but just to guide them to your glory and to your love. We ask these things in your heavenly name, Father.
What's up? All right, we are here. We are here. I don't know if you know what I'm putting on the back now. I got Kung Pao about to go on in the back now. He said we're gonna get Kung Pao.
Oh, Kung Pao. Okay.
Into the fist.
Sweet Susie.
So it is. So I just hooked it up to our YouTube just now before we got on. So we can actually stream it directly to YouTube. And if we tell people when we're doing it, it will they can do comments and we can bring their comments in and they can say something to us and we can bring them in on the screen or not.
Okay.
So it takes 24 hours to get processed or whatnot, but we'll have that. We're going to pick up kind of where we left off last week. It is Wednesday before Christmas. So we got a week before Christmas. This is interesting. But we talked about atheism is illogical last episode. And we had one comment. I don't even know how would people know we got it out there, but I don't even know who this person was, but they made a comment. And so I thought that it would be great to kind of do like not around the horn, but pardon the interruption. Pardon the interruption, they have like mail time and they have these different things where they'll say, this story is big, or this is what we're talking about today. And so we're going to kind of do some of the arguments that some atheists, because I'm going to put this disclaimer up there, that not all atheists use the same arguments and discussion should be respectful of all viewpoints. And so if you see, I'll put that disclaimer up there because if you see my name on the left and right shoulder today, I didn't want to put devil's advocate. I thought that was a little much. So I'll put left and right shoulder on there today. Because that's kind of what we're going to do, looking at all these sides, because that's really where I'm coming from as my thought process is going in. And so I want to make sure that we are, looking at it from all sides and giving everybody kind of the benefit of the doubt. And so I wanted to bring in some arguments, because if you are listening and you are an atheist and you want to get on our show at some point in time, let us know. I'm not just going to walk around and say, hey, are you an atheist? I don't know how to ask somebody, that question. So we're going to leave that alone. If you are and you want to come on, we would love to have you on and talk to you. Because again, this is not trying to be one-sided, but this again is not from our point of view. But if we have people that want to jump on, you can jump on. So that sound about right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. But before we get in, how your week been?
I mean, it's been good. It's going well. My mom's a teacher. I should speak properly. But
listening to this,
you're right. I don't even think I told her, but
you did.
I mean, just getting her on YouTube would be interesting. I don't know, just trying to follow my son, basketball, all that stuff.
Still a buster. How did the rankings come up for that week? I posted that on my social media. Like, how did he say?
Oh,
he was way behind.
Yeah, the other kid. I have no idea what kind of performance he had, but like he had the support, so he won. But it was just cool to get his name out there.
Yeah, he's still a buster.
Yeah,
space when I see him. He's a driving buster. I will not be on the road. How is his driving going? Have you when you sitting there, do you clench your butt cheeks? Like, is it like
really?
Pause. No Diddy?
Interestingly enough, I just asked my little brother if the pause game is offensive.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He doesn't
All
know
right.
what it is, though.
So what?
He doesn't know what it is.
Your little brother don't know what it is?
No.
Chauncey don't know what it is?
Because they don't. Why would he say pause?
He wouldn't say it, but he's in
Right.
the world. He's part of the.
He's
Okay.
in the world, but his people wouldn't say pause.
Okay. So, audience, the 5 people out there. So we have these discussions, and one of the things that's interesting about this discussion is we can talk about realness on here. And you heard Brandon said his people don't say would know. So Brandon's brother is of the LGBTQ plus community.
But for the record, when I said his people, I was referring to actors. So
regardless, why you say that?
Regardless of sexual orientation, they still wouldn't say pause.
But actors could be straight or gay.
Yeah, but like actors know they're hanging around gay people, so they wouldn't say pause.
Not necessarily true, because you would say it in front of gay people.
Yeah, well, if I knew it was funny and not offensive.
Exactly. But we're going there. So we wouldn't know, and new actors may not know that it's offensive. So when you said his people, I want to put that out there because that goes to some of the things we talk about gay people in church, gay in the Bible, and how that's accepted or not accepted. So that's something we'll touch on later, but that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Okay.
But I didn't know about so he didn't know about it, but he's been around people, so I would think that he would know or have heard that. But that's interesting that he did it. Now, why is it so it's offensive to say it around gay people?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. What did he say?
He wasn't sure. I had to explain it to him. I haven't explained it to him yet.
Oh, okay. All right. I want to be there for that conversation.
Word.
So, but yeah. So we're looking at again we when we talk about these things, we're talking about real things. And so again, we want to give the atheist kind of the floor today. The title of this episode is called "The Other Side of the Pillow." And the only reason we said that is because other side of the pillow is cooler. Like we were a little hot last week. We're talking about a subject that's a little hot. So we're gonna go to the other side of the pillow and kind of do some other things. And so Brandon has sent me some things, but I didn't put those in there because I couldn't copy and paste them, and I didn't feel like typing them. I really can't type. I peck. I'm like pop, pop, I'm going. I get it, but it's not. I don't do like 60 words a minute. Don't tell my boss that. I'm an underwriter. I don't really have to type fast. So as we start this, we're gonna do the first one we're gonna throw up there, Brandon, is here it is. Where is the verifiability, tangible proof that God exists? Some of these things are like questions, arguments, thoughts that atheists may have. And so this one is Can
you word that differently?
That's just what it is.
I know, but I'm saying, like, can you say the same question, but just like,
how do you prove that God exists? Where's the tangible proof? How can I hold something that tells me that God exists, that there's proof that God exists?
I mean, there's many ways you can go that, but I couldn't give you I can give you evidence for the existence of God. I couldn't give you definitive proof because you can't definitively prove anything. Like I couldn't prove I was, upstairs 10 minutes ago, definitively.
If somebody saw you.
Yeah, someone saw Jesus.
Okay. Now, I could definitively say that this is a remote control to my TV and I have it in my hand. So this is proof that the remote control exists. This is something that I can grab.
But you saying it isn't the proof because I can't tell for sure. I can give you reasons why I can say it's not what you're saying it is.
You can tell I'm holding an object in my hand.
Yeah. But I can give you evidence. I'm not trying to jump around, not answer the question. The evidence
proof
is things we talked about last week.
But tangible proof. But do we exist? So the reason why I say that is because is this the Matrix?
See, that's what I'm saying. I can give you evidence for. I can't give you definitive proof.
Okay, so that's one of the arguments that atheists say. So you basically just proved an atheist comment correct, or not correct, but not false, because they're asking for tangible, like something that you can hold, because that's what it's about. Like I was holding my daughter earlier. Now you can say you didn't know that. You can say that I wasn't holding her.
Yeah, but so like here's the issue.
Okay.
There is historical evidence that Jesus existed, and we have the words he said. So he was on earth. We have the book that he claimed to be about him in the Old Testament. So that is in itself proof that there's a God, because God's showing you that he lives outside of time, and people saw him after he died alive. So like there's evidence there. So like I can't give you something to hold, but the Bible is evidence in itself for the God I believe in.
The Bible was written by people.
Yeah.
There's a book, Promised Land, bro, written by Barack Obama.
Okay. Can we
hold on. Here's Will Smith.
Right.
At Target. You can see Target come endorse us. Okay. So I'm not even gonna talk about those. We'll talk about the Titanic. The Titanic is it hit an iceberg and it's at the bottom of the sea. If we go to the bottom of the sea where they think that the Titanic went down, and they go deep in the ocean and they find a piece of the boat of Titanic, that's tangible to say that there was a Titanic that exists. Because I don't know that the Titanic existed because I wasn't alive at that time. But it's tangible proof that the Titanic is real. Whereas if I don't have tangible proof of something, I know that Jack Trice, played football for Ames College back in the 1920s. I don't have the tangible proof, except we have the letter, but we didn't see him play there, but we have the jerseys in California of the captain that carried on. So we know those jerseys exist. We know that time exists, and we've met people that have played with Jack. I met that person in 1998, someone that actually played with Jack Trice, to know that Jack Trice truly existed, and there's tangible evidence there. So when an atheist says, where's the verifiable, tangible proof that he exists? Because going to what you were just saying, I'm gonna hide that one. The other one I had on here was the Bible contains contradictions and stories that can't be historically verified.
Okay. I'm pretty sure whatever contradictions they're referring to are just misunderstanding of the text that they're reading.
Okay.
And some of them are just copyist errors, but like there's no contradictions in the Bible.
What is the copyist error?
So like take Homer. What's his book called? Not Homer Simpson.
I know who you're talking about.
I know the word. I just know I'm going to mispronounce it, so I'm trying not to say it. So like that book was written, and we believe. I don't have the exact numbers, but like basically what I'm saying is we trust that book to be historically accurate, and it was written like
the Iliad or the Odyssey.
It was like 200 years after the event is talking about.
Okay.
And there's copies of it, but not a lot. So like how historians work, they use like manuscripts from the past, and they find them in different areas. And the Bible has more than any other historical book from different areas. So like they are confident that the Bible is intact because of all the 5,000 different manuscripts that they found and compared to each other. So and back in that time, they had to copy it. So and Hebrew is a very like some of the letters and numbers are the same. Like the letters represent numbers. So sometimes when someone saw a letter, they thought it was a number and they just copied that wrong. So like those kind of things happen a lot. I think the number I heard was like 300,000 different copyist errors in the manuscripts we found. But nothing that would change the Bible, nothing that would change like the meaning or definition or anything like that. It's just like.
So were there 12 disciples, or was that a copyist error because they read a Roman numeral or a Hebrew number?
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like none of that has been misunderstood. Like all that information.
Just checking, because if they read numbers as letters and letters as words, and I got something that's off topic, but I just had to talk about it. So
I have an off-topic subject too.
Okay, so I was inner city, Warrensville Heights. My high school. I didn't go to the high school. I went to a different high school. It was a high school in an all-white area. But the high school in the area where I went to school at, they had a planetarium, stars.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Moved and in the 8th grade to this all-white high school or all-white elementary school, 8th grade. I failed my first test. It was on constellations. My school had a planetarium, and I failed a test about the stars.
Okay.
I just thought that was funny. That was just thinking about like copyist errors. I don't know if that really has anything to do with it, but it was on my mind when I was talking about stuff.
My pointless comment or question is: can Black people order hot toddies?
You do that stuff at the bar all the time.
Never said hot toddy. I'm not even sure what it is.
Hot toddy is like hot tea with whiskey in it.
Okay.
Something like that. It's like some kind of hot drink with liquor in it.
But can you go to the bar and say that?
Yes.
We can? Okay.
Yeah, why wouldn't we be able to say hot toddy? Do you drink you got tea in your hand? Do you sometimes put your pinky up when you drink your tea?
No.
Bet you do. You just don't know it. And you ain't going to do it on TV because you see it recorded. You don't always hold your cup like this. Look, your pinky is up right now. Look at your pinky. Put it back up.
It's not. It's not.
Oh, your pinky ain't touching the glass. Your pinky is up. Yeah, look.
All right.
What I'm talking about.
Whatever.
Don't give me no gun. You know what I'm gonna do with it.
Back on subject.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, people.
So, do you feel like I don't know if we even talked about the first one enough to
the first one enough.
Okay,
let's see. I don't think that you have proven an atheist. I don't think you have disproven an atheist's thought. Atheist. I don't know if that's a word, but I don't think you've kind of answered it, because tangible proof. A book is not tangible proof of anything. That's why I just grabbed the book about Will Smith wrote. The book because we weren't there when his dad made him rebuild the wall. So when I talk about tangible, it's like what I want something that
I'm saying I'm giving evidence to. I'm not
that
gonna
evidence.
I'm not gonna be able to give you proof, but I can give you evidence to it.
Not proof. Not proof. Like, so for example, this is how I look at it from when I'm looking at this question and look at tangible. I'm looking at the pyramids. Either aliens built them or Egyptians built them. But you look at Aztec, and you look at the marks, the hieroglyphics, the things that they found buried on pots, on different things, the things that they have found, the artifacts that they have in these museums, whatever it may be, to prove that this civilization existed at this point in time. They use science. When you say science in the Bible don't go, but they use science to kind of carbon date or kind of say this is this old based on, just like they look at the rings of a tree. That's tangible to me to say, hey, the Mayans existed, or Christopher Columbus really did land here and landed on Plymouth, whatever the case may be. That's tangible that I can say, oh, here it is right here.
So wouldn't Jerusalem, for example, be evidence for the Bible?
Would it be
the holy places in Jerusalem that they preserved? Or
you keep going back to evidence.
Yeah, I'm saying I already answered that. I can't give you proof.
But I'm not. No, that's evidence. I'm talking tangible.
I'm saying the existence of the Bible and its story behind it is, I think, very solid evidence for the Jesus being God.
There are castles in Dublin, Ireland.
Okay.
Does that prove? Is that tangible proof that there were dinosaur or dragons or kings or queens or anything like that? It's like we made up these things about a castle is for a king or queen or whatever, that people lived in I'm just saying tangible. Like, is there anything out there that exists? Like, is there Jesus's crown or the cross that he was hung on? Or, you know, no, his loincloth would be too old if they found his clothing because of how
all of it would be gone by now.
But that's what I'm saying. Like tangible proof. We still have proof that Mayans existed or that dinosaurs existed. We have the bones of those. That's tangible. If that's a real bone, a real fossil, that's tangible. I think that's where they're going on it. Not to put you on the spot, but I think that's where they're going with the tangible piece.
All right. So I'm saying the Bible, because of how the process has gone through to still be here. And so the Old Testament, like I said, the Bible was written over 1,500 years. So the Old Testament was written and done 400 years before Jesus walked on earth. So the Jewish culture at that time, everyone was memorizing it. So like everyone who was Jewish walked around with the knowledge of the Bible, especially the Psalms and Isaiah and Daniel in their head. Like that was like just their general knowledge of life. They held strong to memorizing that because that was very strong to their culture. So Jesus couldn't come around and be like, I am who they're talking about without causing confrontation. And that's why they ended up wanting him to delete him, was because he was claiming to be the God from the Old Testament. So my point is saying the Bible is there are like it's the only book of its kind that exists in this. I mean, obviously there's people who say there's things wrong with it and there's misconceptions of it and all the other stuff, but like just the creation of the Bible and the evidence that like historians use the Bible to find places from history. And the fact that I said Jerusalem is because Jesus' story happens in these places. So the history of Jerusalem and the Middle East, like, is affected by the stories of the Bible. So like I'm saying, people are very convinced that some of or all of it is true. Back then, it's continued on. That's why my evidence is why I'm using the Bible, because it's not just a book, but it's a book that you can confirm was back, 2,000 years ago or whatever.
So basically, we're just saying you don't have any tangible proof that God exists. You have some book that says that's your evidence that he exists.
Yeah, I have evidence. Yeah.
Okay.
And a tangible proof, like beyond like not my God, but a God, would be just creation.
But science provides a plausible explanation for the origin of life without needing a creator. So this is another thing that atheists will say.
No, it doesn't.
It provides a plausible explanation. It doesn't provide a plausible explanation.
Not my so nothing creates everything. Nothing creates intelligence. That's I don't feel that it's plausible. Like science says there was a beginning, right? Okay. So if there was a beginning, and so there's a giant accident and intelligence came from it, that tells me there was intelligent design behind it. Like this, how our body works, how the earth is perfectly placed from the sun, that we don't freeze or burn to death. Like all these things are just evidence that there is intelligent design, not nothing.
You are 100% right that there's intelligent design there.
Yeah,
that's
so creative.
That's not okay. Yes. So you are taking the word atheist, and you as a Christian are taking the word creator, and I think they're all interchanging it with God. So because I think this really is saying without needing a God, because again, something had to create us.
Yeah.
Because you can't really, I don't believe you could get us from a tree, from a plant. Yes, we're all made up by atoms and cells. I get that. but you can't have the same thing. So there has to be some kind of intelligent design behind it. Now, we talk about movies a lot, and Transformers.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm thinking Transformers, but and like one of the last night I think it was, he meets his creator, the person that created the Autobots or the robot, the autonomous robots. So they met the creator, not calling it a guy, but it was the creator of that. So when you look at that, or you look at the movie, The Creator, where they had those robots. That one just came out a couple years ago, where they had these robots that look like people or whatever, and someone created them. You create this artificial intelligence, you create these robots, you create these things. That's a creator of something, creating intelligent life. Is that the same thing, or would you look at those as the same thing? So do you look at creator and God as the same?
Yeah, creator. I just looked up the definition of God, and it's like the supreme being. Like me saying that we have a starting point, I'm saying that creator lives outside of that starting point.
Okay.
So that would be supreme to us because it's an eternal thing. Like time and space doesn't matter to our creator. So that I'm saying is our God. Like, so me defining who God is, I argue that comes from the Bible and like the Holy Spirit's presence in our lives. But like, I'm not arguing that to answer this question because like, I'm just saying science doesn't answer for the creation. It has like, I don't think it's plausible is what I'm saying.
Okay, I get that. Do you think in the movie Men in Black, when they open up the lockers, when he thinks he's old, it's like different worlds out there, different levels of intelligence, things like that. Do you think that when you talk about intelligent design and how things were made, how we were made, the distance from the sun, not being able to freeze to death and things like that, are there other life forms out there?
I think it's completely possible. I don't think it's like God doesn't answer that question.
But why doesn't he answer that question? If those are questions,
Well, yeah, from my standpoint, I don't think that's going to play into the equation of our existence.
Okay. All right. Got it. All right. Let's see. What other ones did I have out here? So we look at the verifiable and some of these repeated on.
What was there was a question or the comment the guy left.
Oh, I don't remember what it was. I can try to find it though.
It's all right. It's all right. I think it was something about like, if I'm saying atheism is illogical, and he's saying believing there is a hell.
Believing in. We're talking about believing in. He said something about believing in eternal damnation and hellfire. Eternal damnation and hellfire is what the comment was talking about. Right. You want to speak on that or something?
I was just thinking when you told me that both things could be true. Mm-hmm. So like me saying believing that we have no creator is illogical, and that doesn't mean on the other hand there's a hell or heaven. I'm saying so they both could be true. I obviously don't believe. I believe that there will be a hell, but like I don't see that statement as like an argument against my belief that we have to have a creator for us to exist and to have a conscience, because otherwise we just would be atoms.
So ethics and morality can be derived from human empathy and reason without needing divine guidance. Do you agree with this?
They can be, but like the ultimate authority on ethics and morality has to come from something higher than us. Otherwise, it's all relative.
Isn't everything relative? Everything's relative to your perspective.
I would say no, because I don't want to go too extreme.
Go extreme, man. Why would
I'm not going to. I'm just going to
do it.
I'm just going to say deleting people just for your own selfish reasons, I believe is always wrong, regardless of your stance or what society says. Like,
So
all right,
explain. So say that again. Say that a
let's
different way. You said deleting people for your own selfish reasons.
I was trying to say like murder, like just killing for whatever reason that you desire. I think it's always bad.
Okay, so
Like,
there's
it's
no
not
there's no so there's no ever no there's never a right time to murder.
to murder. No, murder is wrong. Always.
Okay,
Killing is different than murder.
what's the difference between what's the
If
difference between
someone
killing and
comes
murder?
into your house right now, you go pop pop.
Uh-huh.
That's not murder. You're protecting your family.
That's murder.
No, it's not.
That's to me that's murder. If
How?
I shoot somebody and I kill somebody, I murdered them. You
To
broke into my house,
to protect yourself. If they're attacking you, that's not murder. That's self-defense.
but it's still murder.
I
We call it because we make stuff up. We call it what we want to call it to make ourselves feel better. We murder somebody. If we get in a car accident and we accidentally run a red light and kill somebody, it was an accidental death.
So let
me
me define murder for what I'm saying. I'm saying purposely killing someone for your own selfish reasons, for your own selfish gain, is always wrong.
So do you believe in the death penalty?
No.
You don't believe in the death penalty?
I think it's no, I don't.
You don't think if somebody intentionally, like you said, it's not right to intentionally murder somebody. So if you intentionally murder somebody, you don't think that they should be murdered?
No. I heard a funny joke from Josh Johnson that was.
Now who is Josh? You gotta give it because who is Josh Johnson?
He's a comedian, and I hope his name is not Jackson. I hope it's Johnson because he's one of my favorites right now.
Oh, if you messed up, he gonna get mad.
He doesn't know me.
He might listen to this.
Yeah, right.
It's a meta tag on here.
But he was basically saying serial killers, all deserve to be in prison, except that one who like pushes the button. He's figured out a way to do it legally.
So
whoever injects the shot or pulls the lever for the election chair is usually just one person. He's basically saying they are also serial killers, but they are getting paid to do it. They found the
yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I never thought about it that way. Wow, that's a stumper there. If you push the button and you are also a serial killer, but you're not a serial killer. Well, no, you have a type because you're a type. You're murdering murderers.
Yeah.
So that's a type. Okay, that's serial killer. Okay.
The same way every time.
Huh.
And you probably even signed a paper saying I was the one that did it.
Would you look at that? Would you?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You know what? That's a new one to me. I like that one. I gotta.
He said it. It was way funny.
Did you look at his? Did you look him up to make sure you said his name right? So is it Johnson?
I didn't. I am definitely gonna he's touring. I'm going to try to find him.
Okay. Don't mess him up. Okay. All right. So again, ethics and morality, you say, can be derived from human empathy without.
But it's all relative though. If that's the case, it's all relative. So if I'm saying there's no God, I can't say my way of thinking is better than yours. So if you come from a society that says, we need because there's a society in, I want to say India, that kills a baby for their crops. They believe that sacrificing a baby is good for their crops. And I think that's wrong. And they don't. And I'm saying if I didn't get my authority that you shouldn't kill from God, I couldn't say their way was wrong. Because it's all relative to their culture.
Yeah. I was about to take it real deep. And I was like, we talk about morality, we talk about right and wrong, we talk about ethics, we talk about people that brought black people over on ships.
Yeah, all that's wrong. Even though at the time they thought it was right.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Did you fart?
I burped.
I'll just make sure.
Okay.
But Okay, so then let me add. So this is Christianity as you are talking about Christianity, as we all are talking about Christianity. We are from this country, this continent where we are. Your parents are from this continent.
Yeah.
Your grandparents are from this continent. Your great grandparents and your great great grandparents, and then let's add another great on there. But then you got that great 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 is from Africa. Let's go there. So they didn't bring like the traditions, the Christianity, the things like that we have were brought over from the people who brought us over. And I think that's part of where look at is the stuff made up because we were taught these things from books of people that brought us over. And so we're following a path and rules and guidance of a people that.
Where do they get the books from? Because this goes into like what my brother says is like it's the white man's religion, and it's if you know the history of Christianity, that's the strangest thing to say, especially since most Christians aren't white.
I saw a reel, and it was the person, and it was the old white lady, and she was like, the question was like, what are some things that people believe that is in the Bible that's not? And she was like, white people, because there weren't white people in the Bible. I get that, but in my house, I got white Jesus. I got white Jesus hanging in my house.
We definitely touch on that at some point.
We want to go to church. Can we bring Buddy Christ in from the movie?
Oh yeah, definitely.
We're gonna have a one called. Hey, so people. Speaking of dogma, we're talking about this stuff, and one of my favorite movies is Dogma. And Dogma, you can't find on digital right now, even if you had.
He just got rights to it. He just got rights to it.
That's where I'm going.
Okay, my bad.
It's all good. After 25 years, not Kevin James. What's his name? Silent Bob. What's his real name? Kevin Smith has gotten the rights back to Dogma because one of the Weinstein brothers, not the Harvey one, but the other brother, had these rights to it. And Dogma came out, and I think it had to be like 99 is when Dogma came out. And he just got his rights back after 25 years. And so he's going to re-release it back in the theaters, do merchandise about it. But that's something that we'll bring up because they talked about the Catholic Church was George Carlin was the Pope or the Cardinal. And he was talking about bringing a new flair to it. And he had the Buddy Christ. And it's a Jesus with thumbs up like this, giving a wink. So we're going to talk about that at some point in time because it's a great movie. But any movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in it, it's pretty much going to be a hit.
Pretty good.
It's pretty much going to be a hit.
Yeah. I want to touch on something that from that first comment that you were saying about hellfire.
Yeah.
Just to give a general definition of what the Bible says it is.
Okay.
So we are here and God is inviting us to a life with him.
Okay.
And that comes with a free will. And, if you don't want God, God's not going to force you. Mm-hmm. So on the other side of eternity, you just will get your wish and God won't be there. That's what hell is.
So it's not the fire and burning and all that. It's just you're just gonna be in emptiness, is what you're saying?
I'm not saying it's empty, and I'm not saying there's no fire. I'm saying hell is like a
life without God, like an afterlife without God.
Yeah. But so God's offering a life with him in the way he originally designed us to be. We just have to accept it because he's not forcing us. And he couldn't say he's love and force us. Those two things wouldn't make sense. Because if you love someone and they're like, leave me alone, you respect their wishes.
All right. So I was gonna kind of get off because I was through all of the kind of the questions that I had found, but then I had found this other website I just had in the background, and the title of this it's called Boxing Pythagoras.com. And it's like an atheist answers 20 short arguments against God's existence. And we were just talking about that. And it was something like what you just brought up that that kind of makes me think about this is like for the second one, it's a 2A and a 2B for some reason. But 2A, it says, God doesn't stop the evil in the world. Theodicy, or the problem of evil, has been a very common question in philosophy for more than 2 millennia. As such, it is a question which has been tackled by theistic philosophers and theologians. I can't say none of these words for nearly as long. So when you talk about the way what we are, you believe in God, but why is it there's so much evil in this world? But if why is it if everybody's made in God's image and things like that, why is there so much evil in the world? I think we kind of touched on this last episode. I think you did.
Yeah, God gives us free will. He doesn't tell us to do evil. He tells us not to. He tells us to treat the golden rule, treat others as we want to be treated. And he tells us what's right and wrong. So like the existence of evil isn't on God, it's on us. And if God got rid of evil, where are we?
Okay.
So it's like kind of like you know, you have all your kids. If you don't want them to do anything bad, the only way to stop them from not doing anything bad is you don't have kids. So like, do you not want your kids because they do something bad every now and then? You want your kids around.
I love my kids and want them around all the time when they do something bad.
Exactly. So that's like the
if
answer.
You don't answer me when I talk to you.
The answer to that is we're not here.
Okay.
So like those are two alternatives. Like there's evil because we do it, not because God tells us to. He tells us not to. Or there's no evil and we don't exist.
I don't want to. I don't want to get into these. I just want to read these 20 things.
Okay.
I don't really want to get in. You can pick one, and you can pick any of them you want to. But this is like these are some things that can make you think deep. So you can pick one if you want to. You don't have to. But I'm gonna read them. So one, we already talked about. Really, there is no evidence. You know, you say the book is evidence. I think this is like a tangible proof thing. I think that's kind of the same thing. God doesn't stop the evil in the world. According to the Bible, God caused a lot of evil. Drowning everything alive is not a sign of love. I'm about the parting of the Red Sea and Noah's Ark and things like that. And the opening lines of the Bible are factually wrong. So that's one on there. Prayer has never fixed anything physically.
Okay, what you're about to say is wrong about the prayer because I've seen it. And as far as the opening lines of the Bible, in the beginning, God created heavens and earth. They're saying that's wrong.
Let me see. Firstly, arguing against the deity described by the Bible does not constitute a very convincing argument against theism. In general, at best, it might show that the Jewish or Christian conceptions of God are flawed. However, it says nothing at all about whether God exists. More importantly, however, is that most atheists tend to believe wildly ignorant in the field of hermeneutics. There's dealing with Christians who interpret the Bible literally, Christians who interpret the Bible literally, that they are completely unaware that the majority of Judaism and Christianity has never thought this was the proper way to read the text. Atheists who are unfamiliar with this hermeneutics are likely to be quickly dismissed by Christians and even rudimentary knowledge of this process.
I think that word is how the Hebrew language, how people who knew Hebrew at the time would have interpreted like their context. Because like how we listen, like so like say DMX came out or whatever. Or no, let's just go Drake Kendrick, right?
Okay.
How we would hear it now, just like if you took that and took it to the 50s and had them listen to it, there'd be so many things they wouldn't understand. And that's happened in the Bible because the Old Testament was written for Jews.
Okay.
So like how they understood it. That's why when I'm saying like, you know, how like everyone was walking around memorizing it and everything. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, so they got the context. Like, so for example, one argument that I hear Muslims make is that Jesus never claimed to be God.
Okay.
In the Bible, in the Old Testament, like God was, I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jesus, when he walked the earth, he didn't say he was the Father because the Jews understood him to be in heaven. He was saying he was the Son of Man, and the Jewish people understood that he was saying he was, begotten from God.
Okay.
So he said things that they understood, as like when he said, "I am who I am." They knew that was like, "Oh, you're saying you're God." So they picked up stones to stone him because they thought he was being blasphemous.
Got you.
So so the Jewish people definitely knew that he was saying he was God.
Okay. And you stopped me on this one.
Sorry.
Prayer has never fixed anything physically impossible to fix. So like the follow-up question why won't God heal amputees?
So like they're saying prayer's never done something. So like scientifically you couldn't prove it.
Physically impossible.
I'm saying I'm saying I can't show you evidence of that being true. I just know prayer has healed people. That's all I'm saying.
But this is saying physically impossible. Healing somebody. If I look at that and say physically impossible is amputee. That is they have no leg. God never made nobody's leg grow back. Like I know somebody who couldn't walk, quote unquote, couldn't walk. I look at the Book of Clarence. I know it's not the same thing. But when he was faking, he had his cousin faking stuff. But what I'm saying is somebody that couldn't walk, I think that's a story in the Bible. Somebody got up and walked, but we don't know if they really couldn't walk. We don't know if they were like if my back is hurting for a week or something like that, and I can't get up and walk, and all of a sudden, like it's been a week and I've been sitting down, and all of a sudden I can get up. Well, now I can get up, but I'm talking about physically impossible because you can't prove like even with cancer. I look at we always talk about movies like the Holiday or the Last Holiday with Queen Latifah, and the machine was broken. They thought she had some disease in her brain and she was going to die, and it was terminal. But it was something wrong with the machine, and so it was wrong diagnosis of it. But when they say physical, it says this is again an example of conflating a board and general belief God exists with specific claims about the belief prayer to God can lead to miraculous healing. Invalidating the latter does not necessarily invalidate the former. There are plenty of theists who do not believe in any miraculous healings. But again, we don't got to get in all that. Yeah. I'm just saying it.
I've seen it. I can't. That's not. You can't scientifically prove it because you can't repeat it. Because I can't tell God, "Hey, God, do this over and over again." That's ridiculous.
Yeah. There are thousands of gods that you don't believe in.
Okay.
Where you are born determines what you believe. Who created God, and how does your answer make any sense? That's what it says. Pediatric cancer. Unconditional love shouldn't come with a list of conditions.
What does that mean? What conditions?
Like, aren't there like 10 commandments you got to follow to get unconditional love from God?
No, that's just a misconception of the faith. Okay,
so then it's a misconception, but that's where they're getting that from.
Yeah, so that's just they just understand the gift God's given them, offering them. That's what that means.
But thou shalt not do all these things. You got to do all these things and repent and do all this stuff, right?
Got to, like what the Bible says in John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. So
what does the word begotten mean?
Oh man. You know what? I was gonna say, I don't know what that exactly.
I knew you were gonna say it. And you know what? That's gonna be the title of the next one because it's not his son if it came from a Virgin Mary.
It comes from begotten means derives from God. So like
hold on. We Google it. Begotten.
I need to get back to the main point of me bringing that up before we move on to what begotten means.
Get the main point of what?
You said it takes works, and I'm saying it doesn't take works. It takes accepting God's gift. So there's not a list. It's just accepting God's gift.
Okay.
So like you don't I've broken the 10 commandments. For example, Jesus is on the cross.
Mm-hmm.
There's two guys next to him.
Mm-hmm.
One is mocking Jesus, telling him, if you're really God, why don't you get off the cross, save yourself. And the other one was like, when you see your father, remember me. And Jesus said to him, "You will be with me today in heaven." So I'm saying all he did was say, "Jesus, remember me." That's what it took for him to be saved.
Okay.
He was a criminal. He knew he deserved to be on the cross with Jesus, and he knew Jesus didn't deserve to be there. So it's nothing we do, and that's one of the things that separates Christianity from other religions, because all of them, like, I can't say all, the ones I am aware of are works based. Like, you have to do something to be right with God.
Okay. So the dictionary beget, but the past principle is begotten. So that's past tense when you say begotten. But beget is the present tense, typically of a man, sometimes of a man and woman, bring into existence by the process of reproduction. They hope, and then it's like they hope the king might beget an heir by his new queen. All right. The second definition is give rise to, bring about. Success begets further success. So then, if you say, what does the Bible mean by begotten? To have born, brought forth. Whosoever believeth that Jesus is the Christ is born of God, and everyone that loveth him to beget loveth him also that is begotten of him. I have no clue.
It's basically saying, like your children are begotten from you, but Jesus is the only man that was begotten from God.
Yeah, but like it says, but Jesus was the only person to be born of a mortal mother and an immortal father. That is why Jesus is called the only begotten Son of God. From his Father, he inherited divine powers. That's John 10:17 through 18. Interesting. Okay.
That kind of sounded.
You want to get on there?
No, that just kind of sounded. That verse kind of sounded like it misrepresented who God is, who Jesus is. He was fully man and fully God, but we can go into that later. But I just want to make that clear.
Fully man and fully God.
Yeah.
Wasn't fully man and fully God.
We definitely will have to touch base on that later. Then we can stay on topic. We only have 8 minutes left.
We can go. We going 2 hours. No, we ain't gonna talk. Star-Lord, half man. He had his daddy was a god. Talking about movies, and actually got it in with Star-Lord's mother. And he's half man. That's half man. That's man and mortal and immortal. That one is. Okay. But Mary, like, is full. He's full man. He's an immaculate conception.
He's also God.
We gotta get in that one later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were talking about morality, right? And I wanted to use Thanos as my example. So he truly believed that snap, wiping away half a population, was the right thing for human existence, or for people existence.
Okay.
And everyone knew that was wrong, even though he was like, that's gonna, allow the people that live a chance to survive.
I don't think Thanos was wrong.
Okay, I'm saying God says he's wrong, even though his motives were for human preservation. Because I've heard some atheist arguments of they base their morality on what's best for the species.
Okay.
And I'm saying that you can take that as far as the snap, even though we can't do that. And that person could believe that's best for the species, but God said that's wrong. And I believe internally most people feel that that's wrong.
I did find a stone one time. I threw it in the water. The 10 Commandments left off: don't rape, and slavery is bad. The movies and music that honor God are just awful. What is this? You want to go back to that one? The 10 Commandments, don't rape, and slavery is bad.
I'm trying to figure out how to. So, like, the 10 Commandments aren't the only commandments that we were given, and The Bible basically says we're only supposed to sleep with our significant other after marriage.
Mhm.
And so I mean, it's implied if it's not, explicitly said, like definitely, like everyone, rape is bad, and maybe it's not in the Ten Commandments, but it doesn't mean the Bible doesn't say rape is bad. And I'll have to do some research on how to make that argument because
I raped my wife one time. She said no, I wasn't getting it. Oh, that case. Oh, I'm joking.
I know, but still,
I've been telling
and
my
I
wife.
forgot for YouTube, we're supposed to say grape, not the R word.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
I ate a grape one time. It was green. I don't know. The movies and music that honor God are just awful. I don't know what that is. Okay. The invisible and the non-existing look very much alike, and no hide and seek game lasts this long. Ooh, interesting.
What's that?
We haven't seen him.
Hiding.
He's been gone all the time. We haven't seen him.
Okay. So
are you writing these down for like to touch on?
No, but some of these arguments are like casting like a huge amount of arrogance if they think about it.
Okay, well, let me get through them. Let me get through them, and then then we can talk on arrogance. Okay. Science explains so much of what we used to attribute to a God, and 17, the more we learn, the less reason we have to believe in God. So scientific understanding of a phenomenon is not mutually exclusive with the attribution of the phenomenon's explanation to a God. For example, the power over at BioLogos Foundation will completely agree with all of the mainstream biology and complexity of life can be understood through a combination of the blind processes of genetic variance and natural selection. Understanding the way in which it works does not preclude one from attributing the way in which it works to a God.
I don't know what you said.
I don't either.
But just my only pushback to that would be like math doesn't have to make sense. I'm going to even say math is my evidence for God, because we have equations that tell us how gravity works and velocity and acceleration, all that. I don't
believe those.
I'm just saying, like, they obviously work because we have people flying and all this other stuff.
I know, it's crazy.
And math doesn't have to work. We don't have to have math to be able to explain physics, but it does, and that also strongly suggests intelligent design.
You don't have to have math to explain.
Like the math, like 2 + 2 = 4, and take out the equations all out to like how they use it for physics and all this other stuff. Doesn't have to make sense. Like gravity in England and here could be different, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like doesn't have to wouldn't have to be the same all the time. So like we would have equations that will work.
I don't know about math, but I know when I play golf in Denver, Colorado, my ball goes far as hell because it just cuts through the air, that thin air up there, and I drive the ball like no other. But when I'm in Iowa playing with that humidity in the summer in June, man, look, okay. Explaining your mythology makes you sound crazy. Number 19, if God didn't exist, the world would look exactly the same. And number 20, if God existed, he would smite me right now. So that's what this is. So this thing, it says, I do not burden myself with attempting to find arguments against the existence of unicorns or fairies or elves or ghosts or UFOs. There's no reason I should do so with God either. He's not going to try to. So
like that's why I'm saying those would come from a huge place of arrogance, because historically speaking, Jesus existed.
So before you get, we gotta find who this Hemant Mehta. This was Hemant Mehta's 20 short arguments.
Okay.
So that's Hemant Mehta is an American activist, and that's his. So Hemant Mehta is an American author, blogger, YouTuber, and atheist activist. He is regular speaker at the Atheist events and has been board member of the charitable organizations.
I think I listened to him speak today, actually.
He was born in 1983. He's a little younger. He's born in Illinois.
He was angry when I.
He was.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the contention. This guy's contention against Meta's 20 short arguments. So this guy is not an atheist. These are Meta's 20 short arguments, and this person on his website that I talked about is more than just the sum of its fallacious parts. So he's talking about the fallacies of it. So the real problem is that even attempting to formulate arguments against the existence of God necessarily assumes a burden of proof, which does not naturally belong to the skeptic. I do not believe in the existence of gods. If someone wants to convince me that some deity exists, the onus is on that person to support their claim. If I want to address the problems in a person's specific case for the existence of deity, I will do so. However, the minute I try to extend that response into a more general claim about the ontology of deity, I am stepping beyond the role of a skeptic into the role of a claimant. This is why I tend to steer clear of anti-theist religious antitheisms. Why should I take the theist burden upon myself? That's
okay. So just quickly, and I know we're running short. So here's the way I see it.
Okay.
You and I were both born in the United States.
Correct.
And neither of us have listened to anyone read the Constitution out loud. We don't know what it says. You've read the Constitution word for word?
Word for word.
Okay.
I have not. I'm sitting here lying to you right now.
Most people have not, but we are still upholding to our reality. So our reality is we live in a government and there's rules in that government. And it's up to us to know how to operate in those said rules. I'm saying expand that further. There's a man who came and said, there's other rules of reality that you guys should pay attention to. And I think it'd be completely foolish to completely ignore it. It's either very important or not important at all. But the fact that it could be very important, you should at least consider it. So that's why I say that statement is arrogant. Like, well, God's not showing me exactly what I want, so I'm just going to ignore it. But that doesn't make sense because, you can't only ignore reality for so long.
Yeah.
If Jesus says this is the reality that I created, I think it's important to consider it with how he lived his life, gave him the right to I guess, for that consideration. I think he demonstrated enough for us to be like, I should look into this.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
I like how you end it. Woo! Well, the other side of the pillow. Jeez. I didn't, when we started this, I didn't know it was gonna be like this deep, getting deep. I guess I did. But man,
we got to talk about your grandma.
What you talking about grandma for?
Because we gotta unpack that a little bit.
Unpack what? My grandma?
Yeah.
What about her?
You said that in her and your faith changing.
That was a private conversation that we had on the phone. That was not. That
it was on this.
No.
Yes, it was.
I remember that.
It was.
Huh. So yeah. Okay. Oh, we can pack that.
Are you still recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording.
I didn't say my Jesus is my goat yet, so I just want to make sure.
No, I wasn't gonna cut you off from saying Jesus is your goat.
Yeah.
Why you getting keys? Where you going?
Nowhere. I just grabbed them.
On the middle of a broadcast, you gonna grab some keys?
If anyone gets this far, if anyone can say Brandon picked up his keys, I will personally send them $50.
Hey, yep, we gonna. So that's gonna be like, if you listen to it, like, what is the last rule of the rule book? If you do not read this book, your head will be stay ahead of the game. No, it ain't staying ahead of the game. So we're gonna ask people. We're gonna put a poll on our social media, the one social media we got, and we're gonna be like, what happened at the end of the podcast that was ridiculous? Brandon picked up some grits because somebody was gonna cook him breakfast. My mom ate grits for the first time. She always ate cream of wheat, or did she eat cream of wheat for the first time?
So much is making sense now. So much is making sense. Hopefully, you're saying she's eating cream of wheat for the first time.
Yeah, I think she might have ate cream of wheat for the first time because she ate grits. Yeah, we grew up on grits.
I was at a cafe today and I saw on the menu meatloaf and grits, and I'm like, what in the caucasity?
Meatloaf?
Yeah, what in the caucasity is happening here?
Caucasity. Can we coin that?
It's not. I stole that from someone for sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, shrimp and grits, it's cool, but meatloaf and grits?
Yeah.
Well, no, you know what? Meatloaf is technically America's Spam.
Okay.
You eat Spam for breakfast and Spam and grits. I've seen that happen. I've had Spam once. I had Spam once. We worked at Best Buy, and I went home with lunch with dang it, I can't even think of his name, but he lived right in an apartment next to us where he was Fru's roommate.
Okay.
And he made a burger with Spam. Took a bite and about threw up.
Yeah, it doesn't look good at all.
Pork and really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we got for today. Thank you to our 5 listeners. We got like 14 listeners. They might have listened for like 5 minutes. We got to say something at the beginning to catch after your prayer or before your prayer. Like Dave Chappelle at the end say, "I'm rich." Yeah, you got that thing. We got to have something, and you said you're going to redo the prayer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do a closing. I'm gonna do a closing.
Okay.
Cool. I don't know what to do though, but I'm gonna do a closing. Make a video or something. Okay. We didn't talk about any pop culture references or anything today, like what's going on with Jay-Z.
I do want to make a suggestion, and we don't have to put this on the pod, but I do want to at some point bring up current events and how that relates to our faith.
Okay.
Or at least mine.
All right.
I don't know. I don't think I know enough about Jay-Z to even comment on that. But
Stephen A supports him as his homeboy. So sit on TV publicly.
But politics or anything like that of that nature. Like the shooting, for example, the CEO shooting.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to feel about that as a Christian versus how do I feel in my flesh?
Murder.
It was murder. Okay,
so you should hate it.
I should.
You don't?
Not necessarily.
Oh, it's still recording.
I'm not saying this is a right place for me to be in, but if I'm gonna be honest to my feelings.
Wow, yeah, we gotta unpack that. When's the last time you talked to your therapist? Do you have a therapist?
No.
You should get one.
Okay.
You see, look, what you're missing in your life. This is like the ad lib ripping thing. What you're missing in your life is the barbershop. Because you cut your own hair, you don't have a barbershop. That's what you need.
I live the barbershop is only good for that person that says ridiculous stuff and everyone's arguing it with them.
I can't talk about Martin Luther King.
I live with 2 people who say ridiculous stuff all the time, so I'm good.
Yeah, we can unpack that. Your kid and my kid.
Why America? Why are you broke with a car wash subscription? Why is that a thing?
He gonna hate you for this.
He won't get this far either.
Attention span.
Is he one of our followers, by the way?
I don't think so. You told him about it?
He sees me doing it.
That don't mean he know what you really doing. He don't know it's probably out there.
Yeah, we're trying.
Why you keep picking up?
I'm things? Sorry. We need to get up to 16.
All right. Well, this last 3 minutes of ad libs will help us get there. I'm gonna cut. This is what's gonna be on the I'm gonna try to cut this somehow, and put that as the at Twitter. Or we don't have a Twitter, Instagram.
Oh, Blue Sky. You should get on Blue Sky.
Who's Blue Sky?
It's the safer Twitter, or formerly known as X. They're trying to take over because no one likes Musk.
What is it called? Blue what? Blue Sky?
Yeah.
But the sky ain't always blue. Got him. All right.
I don't know who you got.
I don't know who I got either. But hey, we appreciate that we have 75 views. We had 2 hours of total listening, I think, of our last episode. So the episode
an hour total because I listened to it myself.
You messing up the statistics?
No, I need to listen to it.
So you listened to it for an hour. So the other 59 people listened to it for a total of 60 minutes.
Yeah.
That means they listened to it for a minute each. So viewers, if you can get through the first, so the prayer is 1 minute and 29 seconds. That means they didn't even make it through the prayer. So
that's my voice. Is that my voice? Yeah, that's what it is.
All right, we will do better next time. This is the left and right shoulder. That's my title for the day. Got Jesus hype man.
When we talk about Islam stuff, I'm not gonna let you have that name, by the way.
The left and right shoulder?
Right.
Nickname will be pork butt.
Hey, that's almost as bad.
Pork ribs. I like bacon. I couldn't do it because I like bacon. That's gonna be my name on there. No disrespect. I know a lot of Muslims and stuff like that. But I like bacon. So I mean that's it. I'll let your boy.
All right. Jesus,
you ain't gonna say it?
Jesus,
that's how you gonna say it?
Yeah.
You don't make me believe it. Kobe.
Jesus. I can't do that.
You can't do Kobe?
I can't say nah, I'm not gonna.
You can't say Jesus is your GOAT?
I can say Jesus is my GOAT, but I'm not gonna do the Kobe thing.
Okay, well,
Jesus is better than Kobe.
Than Kobe?
Yeah.
The Black Mamba?
Ball him up.
I bet you couldn't take Prince.
They can settle that right now.
Oh man, it's funny. Which kid is that? Yours or mine?
As well.
Oh. Hey Buster, you can't hear me. Get on the camera.
He wants you to come on the camera, bro.
Maybe we'll get some views.
Oh yeah, put this first.
You put this first, yeah.
Yeah. Well, come here.
What up? That's how you talk to people?
Hold on. He just told me hold on. He told me hold on.
He told you you pay the bills.
You want to see in the camera? Yeah. Say what up.
What up, Ill Will?
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
He said good. I can't hear him.
He's pulling his phone. Yeah. All right. Holla at your boy.
All right. You play the music?
I did.
All right.
I gotta put